Good afternoon everybody, and a warm welcome to Beringer and Districts. And today is something a little bit different. It's a video request, and it's come from Matthew Snowden over at Common Barn. And if you haven't seen his channel, please go and check it out because it's a wonderful layout. Very different, quirky, and he might mind me saying that. He loves his shunters, so go and have a good old check it out, and hopefully you'll be suitably impressed. And he made a comment about doing a layout tour, and usually I would save a layout tour for Christmas time, and the fleet update also usually comes around Christmas time, usually once a year I do that, but I thought I'd come and do it now. And so basically that's what we're going to be doing, and the theme will then be the sum of my empire. So before we start, I guess I should give you a brief history lesson on Beringer itself. It's been going for, I think it's about 3 years now, I think, something like that. And it's an analogue layout, and it's based sort of loosely around the late 70s up to the early 90s. That's sort of like the periods that I'm covering, sort of BR blues, sectorisation, that kind of thing. So that's kind of like the sort of time frame that I'm covering here, and hopefully the vehicles and buildings and shops will sort of reflect that period nicely. So originally, if I just sort of quickly pan round to the right before we get into it, it used to start where the front door is there. That's where it started originally. And if I just pan this round, you'll see sort of where it finished originally, and that was right at that back wall there. You can probably see it right in the distance, where you could probably make it out where the village pub is, and that's basically the early days of the layout. It used to be from the front door up until that end there. And there was actually also originally, there's also where the island platform building is. There used to be actually, I was trying to create an elevation section, and basically that didn't work out because it just wasn't enough room to do it all, so that got shelved fairly early on in the Beringer layout. So what we'll do is we're going to start by looking at the electrics and things on Beringer before we actually go on to the actual layout itself. And I'm also going to include a layout update in this, because as we're going along there are bits that I have done, and there's also a few new additions. Some I'm not going to show you right now because I'm expecting a few more, and then I'll just cover that whole bunch in another video because this may take some time. So what's on the layout in terms of new additions I'll show you, and all the rest I'll just put into a separate video, probably next week or something like that, or the week after. So here we are at the main control panel over at Beringer, and the electrics are very simple because it is analogue, and also because anyone who knows me, and I've been going on about this for a long time, me and electrics are just like oil and water, we just don't go together. So I've deliberately tried to keep the electrics on this layout simple, although some people may look at it and think that's complicated, I don't know. But to me it's my way of doing it and the way that I know how to do it. I have a combination of, say, 4 handheld controllers and this main unit directly in front of you, which is a Morley unit, and this thing is a fantastic piece of kit. And those of you who are familiar with my channel would have seen me do a review on it, so if you haven't seen it, there is a separate video out there just that I've sort of dedicated to the Morley unit, so you can have a look at that. It also comes with a couple of handheld controllers, which is also extremely handy. In my case it's coming very, very handy indeed. And basically the actual connections themselves are connected to a jack, which is, this one's bought from Maplin's, and then that plugs into the other end. and that's how it's all connected together, which if I'll just take you around the corner, bear with me a second, I'll get in. It's just all plugged in through the various, that one is, one of them is for the main down, one of them is going to be for the branch line, there's another one that's going to be for the up and all the rest of it. So I kind of do it like that, and trying to make use out of everything that I have basically. And basically if one of the controllers breaks down, I can just basically plug in one of the other ones because it's all connected in the same sort of way. Also I'm just going to push it down a bit. These are all my switches, isolating points, and the two white ones are the lighting. And if I just take it here, there's a basic diagram. I am going to redo this proper, but basically I used Pico point motors that was kindly donated to me. And this is another thing about this layout. A lot of this layout is, even though it seems quite big, it's actually to try and be built on a budget. A lot of it has been made out of recycled wood, stuff that people are not using or not wanting and that I can make use of, and basically just to try and keep the costs down. Also to plug boards together, joins, I use a male and female phono plug. You just simply unplug them and then just plug them in. That's a simple way of just connecting them in, again from Maplins. Again, you might be able to get it from one of the other independent electrical stores or something like that, that might be cheaper, but I just get mine from Maplins. The actual controller itself has got a CDU unit, which is a capacitor discharge unit, and that helps with throwing the points, and it's used, like I said, with Pico point motors, and it's basically a stud and probe method, and I just use basically a bit of wire inside the biro, and then it's very basic and just point and click really. That's kind of how I do it on here, and it all works, and that's the main thing. As long as it all works, then that's pretty much how it goes. There's also separate independent power units, and I'll show you one of them now, and I'll show you one of the other ones as we get to the new shot end. Here at the fiddle yard main is another power point, and this will be to basically have a separate control of the fiddle yard area, which is where we're going to start our layout tour. Basically it's to divide the whole layout into basically three parts, and you've got the branch line, you've got the fiddle yard, and then you've got the main station, which can be independently sort of run or run as a whole, and that's kind of how I've done it. It's just kind of to make it like I've got all these separate controllers, and then if somebody wants to come round from the club or something like that, from the Model Railway Club that I'm from, or one of my friends, then we can both run it together, and I can run one part and he can run the other part or whatever. So that's kind of, it's very simple, but there's no track laid on where we're going to start, because I've literally just, it's part of actually the layout update is the fact that I've actually completed the actual fiddle yard section totally in length. So then the next part will be to put the track work down for it. So if I'll just go up, we'll start from there. So here we are, this is where the layout tour begins and ends. This is the fiddle yard main, and like I said, I've only just finished completing this yesterday, I think. It's now 8 feet 5 inches, 8 foot 5 between this wall here and all the way down to the end here, which is where it all finishes. And as you can see here, this is where it finished previously. So I've added another couple of feet, 2 foot 5 here on this end here, and underneath is just some storage for some clothing, so it was also to help that out as well. So all underneath is complete storage, above is storage, and in the middle it's just basically like a sandwich really, and then you've got the railway in the middle here. It used to finish here, like I said, there was a board here, but now I've opened it out. So basically this is going to be the main storage area for all the lines. I haven't worked out the track plan along here or the electrics or anything like that, but it was something that I wanted to get done this weekend because I had 4 days off in a row, so I wanted to knock this on the head and get this done within the 4 days that I have. So this will be the main fouillade, and like I said, it's 8'5" in length. So here is the main scenic break, right by B&Q, which is where we're at the moment. So we sort of start at the town scene, or the beginning on the outskirts of town, and you can see it's just a single track, and then this bit here in the middle is a lift up section, and we have a hinge that secures it all in place, and also it secures it to the track to make sure that they align correctly, and then that lifts up when it's not in the used position. We have B&Q here Mark II, along with the embankment, and then we have a disused signal box. Along this back wall is where the front door, as you can see, I do have actually a piece to go behind it, another sky bit, and I'm actually thinking I might turn this bit into an industrial. I was going to put some shops, but there's an article going around about building some warehouses and things like that, and I might do that instead. I was thinking of either doing that here or by the village area. One of my new additions has just turned up, and it's right over here, recently released by Oxford Diecast, and this is an a Ford Transit Mark III van, and it's nice that it's come out. It's fits in perfectly with my era that I'm modelling, so I snapped that up straight away. We've got a number of cars going up and down towards town. That goes towards the underground platforms of 4 and 5 over at Beringer. We have an RCL serving the bus lane there, and then we've got this junction here, and then we've got this bridge here, and that gets taken away when the layout is not in use, so the bridge can lift up and raise. We have a Stagecoach Ollie. This was kindly donated to me and given to me by my good friend Mike. And then we have Blockbuster Videos and Woolworths right in the background there, with the car park for that, and also the BRS lorry over there, which also sits in nicely with the layout. So this shot from a distance shows you the town scene as a whole. From a distance you can see obviously to the right Woolworths and Blockbusters, which we just covered. In front of you we've got the NCP car park. We've got a Leyland National stopped at the bus stop, and then obviously you've got the bus station right down the far end, and a glimpse of Beringer Station on the left hand side. And if we move along slightly, you get a slightly better view of the car park, and it's scratch built. Most of the buildings are scratch built. In fact, all the ones that you've seen, the B&Q, the NCP, the Woolworths and the Blockbuster Videos, are all scratch built, as is the bus station, which is where we're going to be going to very shortly. So here we are at the NCP car park, going in closer detail. We have one of these sort of height restriction barriers, and this was made out of an old sprue, and then it's just painted in the appropriate colours, and the inspiration came from Farnborough car park, where I used to work. Then we've got the burger van, which is kind of customary when you go to these sort of retail parks. There's always a burger van parked in a corner somewhere. And as we go up onto this is the entrance to the bus station. You've got the railway station just here on the left. That's the railway building there. We have a little taxi rank, but all the taxis are out bar one. And then as we climb up, we have the bus station. We have an Atlantean waiting to come out. We've got a Bristol VR behind that, and then there's another Provincial open top behind that, with a Stagecoach VR open top behind that. And a lot of the inspiration for this bus station was taken from Winchester, and also taken from Basingstoke bus station, where I currently reside with my vehicle. Also, we just have a green porter cabin, which I've painted up from the standard Bachmann grey, and then after we also have a Red Star Parcels Beringer station sign, so that indicates that we do parcels here at this station as well. I should have a quick word of the station, the building behind the back of the bus station. They're all Metcalfes. I've still got to put the chimneys on there. Directly underneath the bus station that you've seen in front of you is Beringer platform 4 and 5, which is where I will show you right now. Forgive me if you can hear some building work going on outside, that's just to do with the next door neighbours. So we're going to go down, and here is my computer screen, and to the left there's 3 cameras, as you can see. This one here is the one that's directly underneath the bus station, which is Beringer platform 4 and 5. To the right of that is the newer one, which is Morewood platform 5, which is what we'll get to soon. And then after we have the Morewood entrance throat here, and this particular camera is to cover this particular point here. I have trouble seeing this point from my vantage point from the control panel, so I use this camera here to sort of let me know which way the points have been thrown, and that's why that camera is pretty much there really. Plus it gives an overall view of the station entrance over at Morewood. The program is called Contact2Cam. Like I said, I've got 3 cameras currently running on it at the moment. There may be more at some point in the future. One other new addition is this elderly Mark 1 Transit, which I got yesterday from the Tolworth Railway exhibition. So now that also covers the period quite well. So I've parked that in the retail centre there. It's very well detailed. It's got indicators and number plates, and it's well painted, and it's lovely. So I'm glad to have it on my layout. Beringer Station is one of the few stations on this layout. One of the few buildings on this layout, I should say, that is actually ready built. And the majority of the buildings on this layout is actually scratch built. Like I said before, I actually enjoy building and making things, so sometimes it's through necessity and sometimes it's just because I'd rather just build it myself and I enjoy it. But the actual station building itself is an old Hornby Scaledale 2006 model, I think it is. And Beringer Station itself has platform 1 where the DDMU is, and that goes off towards New Shot and the branch, and then you've got platform 2 and 3 here, and then there's 4 and 5, which is under the station, under the bus station, which is fed by these through lines which run alongside and into the tunnel there. The Island Station building is scratch built also by myself, and the balancing, that's from Wills and things like that, and so are the arches for the retaining wall, and that's all made out of 3 layers of card, and then that kind of slopes down, and it's in the NSC colours, so that was kind of the period that I'm going for of the day. And if I just I suppose if I just give you an overall view of it from behind here, that kind of probably tells you just how far. If I just pan out slightly, you can sort of see how far out it comes. At the moment I'm just finishing off a rake of intercity coaches, and there's one here that I've just got recently, and that's this Dapol one on the end here. I got that one the other day. So now I've got 6 coaches, and I want 1 more first class, and that will give me 7 coaches, and I can actually run 7 coaches and put that into the fiddle yard, which is really great news, because I like the idea of having long coaches and long rakes and things, whether it be freight or passenger. We have a signal box here from Metcalfe, which is basically directly above the controller, and that will probably be removed at some point. There is a plan for the future to remove the station building and possibly extend this line alongside here and down and back underneath the layout, going back round that way where we're going back again. and that will probably be a project for next year at some point, I should imagine. We've got this road over bridge, which is a very, it's probably one of the early examples of one of the first things I did on Barringer, really, apart from the station. This was kind of installed relatively early on, and it's lived here ever since, really. And a lot of it's done with through plastic card, clad in plastic card and painted. Along the back we have period signage of the day, and also the boards were made by myself just using matchsticks and card. The back scene is, I think it was a Gauge Master back scene, as is the clouds and the sky scene behind the bus station. This stagecoach hopper, this was donated to me by my good friend Mike. At this point, what I'm going to do is diverge you to the New Shop branch before we go to Morewood, as this is the New Shop line where the DMU is, and it's a single branch line, and then we'll come back and cover the rest of it. So here we go underneath, and we veer off to our branch line. We have a little hut here, goes under two road bridges, I should say, and then we have a disused, that should be over there, that should be over there like that. Basically it's like a disused porthole and railway crossing. And then we have the steady climb up towards New Shop, and then we've got this arch which we go around. There's a canal above that which I'm currently working on. That's in kind of a bit of a state at the moment, but I will show you anyway. And as we go through the arch, past the trees, and then the branch line sort of bypasses Morewood on the right hand side, and then you just follow it all the way up towards Coffee Hill, which is the disused part of the line. I've just been adding to it bits and pieces to it as we've been going along. And it's just basically made out of coffee, which is why it's called Coffee Hill. Somebody suggested it, I can't remember who it was. And then we go over Morewood station. So here we are at Coffee Hill still, and this is one of the other PowerPoints that we have here. And this runs the branch. Basically it's just a Gauge Master handheld controller that can be run and operated from here to run the branch. So basically the rest of the layout can be run independently from the branch. So if somebody's standing in, they want to have a little shunting of some wagons or something like that, they can do that. And as we come along here, we've got the road over bridge which leads onto Offord on the Hill station, and then we've got the road which goes up towards the station itself, and then we have an embankment and a small pond, which I need to add to. And then as we go along, again this is one of the few buildings that is actually on the layout ready planted. This is a Bachmann one, and also it's got period signage for the day. We come to this signal box here leading towards New Shop, which has been kindly donated to me and given to me, which I'm really pleased with. And then we've got our 3 British Rail vans, which quite frankly I didn't have anywhere to put them, or what I was going to do with them, but I quite like them all there parked up. And then you've kind of got the China clay area, which is like this, like a shelf unit in the kitchen. And basically you've got the China clay building on the right hand side. We've got a telecom van looking at the telegraph poles or whatever. We're going to try and see if we can get a guy or something like that, try and create a bit of a scene there. We've got the wagons obviously to feed the China clay, and also we've got another Leyland road train here. And then we've got the end of the line, which is just a single platform at New Shop, and then there's a crossover point there which allows the loco to run around the wagons and shunt them into the China clay and pick them up from the China clay works. And that is basically the sum of the branch line, but the branch line, like I said, is hopefully be extended further by going underneath and around Barringer station at some point next year is what I'm hoping to do. But actually this is kind of like one of my favourite bits actually, because although there's not much to it, it's I find it enjoyable to operate just standing here, even if I don't want to play over at the Behringer side, you can still play on this side as an independent thing, which is really good, and I really enjoy that. Just doing a bit of shunting around and messing around, that's quite good. Still some work to be done here. This building was also scratch built. Again, I've also covered this in previous videos, so those of you who are interested, please feel free to have a look at those. So here we are, back at Behringer Station, and we've come and veered off to the branch line, which was just here, and now we're just going to go down the main lines. Currently, because the fill yard is out of action, if I just spin you around again, a lot of the stock has been stored on here for the minute until I get that fill yard sorted out. Again, there's a few more period features, period signage. This was a little bridge that I kind of knocked up to allow access to the path from the footpath across to this section here, which is yet to be built. It's one of the areas that's going to be tackled next year to do all the village area, do the village scene, because this is the area that really does need looking at. But I do want to get the fiddle yard sorted out so I can actually have some trains running proper. So at the end of, I've done some work here, and it just needs a lot more work to do. I'm not sure how I'm going to, because I want to do the warehouse in it, and part of me wanted to stick it by the canal because it seems like such a nice place to put it, but I'm going to try and keep this scene and work on this scene and improve the village area much more than what it is at the moment. So the two main lines just basically run across. It did originally used to be a single line, and now it's gone into a double, and this was because there was a lot of congestion and bottlenecks along here, which made it very difficult to operate and inconvenient too. So it goes through the double track tunnel. We've got the canal, which I'm just working on just at the minute, which needs a lot of work. Over at this side, the other side, we've got the camera here, which is what shows you the picture for the freeway point, which is there, but that will be disguised and covered over, so it's not going to be so obvious as it is at the moment. It's something that's on my things to do list. Also we have my set over in the corner, followed by my two EPB in the centre platform there, which is platforms 1 and 2. Then you've got platform 3, platform 4. I've ironed out the issue that I had with some of the trains scuffing there, so I've just relayed this track to much my annoyance, because I thought I'd solved it in the first instance, but I've done it now, so that's a lot better. Again, the footbridge, the station building and the canopy are all scratch built, and I'm still working on that because I've still got the sides to do. As you can see, it just sort of finishes there, so I've still got to wrap that around the station. But I've also have done some work on platform 5 as you go up over Coffee Hill and around inside. You'll see that that's where the other camera is for platform 5 at Moorwood Station. So basically platform 5 is just down here, and as you can see, I've just also added some brute trolleys, a lift there so people can get across from the station from one platform to the other side, and then that comes out here. So we've got platform, this will be platform 3, platform 4 and platform 5 over in the far side, and that has only just been ballasted a few days ago, so that's nice and hard now, and it's also powered now, so I can now actually use this platform as well. It wasn't powered before. As we turn around, we're coming down towards the end of the station building and the end of Moorwood. So if we just spin this around, you can see, and this will take a 7 or 8 coach train, and because I've actually tested it, so I'm really happy with that. But I think 7 is going to be the most in terms of coaches that I'm going to run on this layout. And then we've got the recently built bridge, which I did not so long ago. I haven't finished it, but I have added to it. I've just sort of created this sort of track work and that, so that kind of getting another step closer to finishing that. Here's another one of these examples that I was saying about plugging in to make the electric connectivity, which is there. So you just plug those two pieces in, and that allows the lift up section to be connected to what is the last section, which is the tunnel section, where my 90 is currently. And that basically, if you just sort of go around to the end, that finishes the layout. This connection is only just put here to stop the trains kind of coming off the end for now. But basically what's going to happen is that it has to sort of connect over there. So that's kind of be my next link and my next sort of job to do, my next little challenge. But we're getting there, and it goes around the fair whack, so I just would have liked it to go all the way around proper and be able to do discussions and updates with the trains running, but it's something that I just can't do just because of the way the flat is laid out. So just before I go, we're back here at the screen, and you can see the 3 webcams running, and you can probably see in the centre where the PCV is that there's some lighting, and also on the left hand side there's some lighting, and all the lighting on here is done very cheaply. And I should mention it right now because now is the time of year to get them, and I have actually seen them for sale and I'm going to be buying some more. And that is these Merry Christmas LED lights from Poundland. It comes with the Merry Christmas letters, but basically they are white LEDs which plug into the letters, so you could just unplug the letters and then use the white LEDs as the source. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for Barringer Underground, and also for Moorwood Platform 5. And also for the Moorwood station itself. So if you are interested in getting some cheap lighting, now's the time to get it from Poundland, and it will cost you £1 as it suggests. So thanks for watching the Sum of My Empire, and I will give you a full sort of fleet list come the end of Christmas, come towards Christmas time. And also, hopefully within the next week, I'll get a couple of new additions, which I'll add to the other new additions, which I'll show you, and I'll tack it all onto one video. So bye for now, and thank you for taking the time to watch my videos, and I will speak to you soon.